Hey everyone, this is the second video in my multiplying exponents series, and I thought I'd make a video with more difficult problems. So let's get right into it. Remember, if we have parentheses around one term and another term, and they're right next to each other, that's just multiplication. So remember, we have to, when we're multiplying exponents, multiply the number in front, which is our coefficient, that's what it's called, and that will be 6 times negative 1 because this x has an imaginary 1 in front of it, and it has a minus 2, so that means it's just negative 1. So we know that 6 times negative 1 is just negative 6. Remember, you can use Desmos.com or a calculator if you have one. So 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. And then we're going to multiply x to the 4th power times x to the 6th power. So remember, to multiply exponents, we're going to add the exponent part together. So 4 plus 6 is 10, so our answer is x to the 10th power. Our second problem is negative 8x to the 4th power times negative 3x. So give this one a shot on your own. Okay, so like before, the first thing we have to do is multiply our coefficients. We have negative 8 and negative 3. So, using your calculator, you'll find that negative 8 times negative 3 is positive 24. To find the product of our x to the 4th power and x, we have to add the powers together. So remember, this x has a 1 as its power. So 4 plus 1 is 5, and that means that our answer has x to the 5th power. In this third problem, notice we have two variables in each of the parts that we're multiplying. We have an x and a y instead of just an x or just a y. So, as usual, the first thing we're going to do is multiply our coefficients. So negative 5 times negative 7 is positive 35. X times x is x squared because both of these have a power of 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2, so our answer is x squared. And y to the 10th power times y to the 3rd power is y to the 13th power, because 10 plus 3 equals 13. Give this problem a shot. The first thing we have to do is multiply our coefficients. We have 8 and 4, so 8 times 4 is 32. X to the 4th power times x to the 6th power is x to the 10th power, and y to the 5th power times y to the 7th power is y to the 12th power. So this problem is a little bit different, but we can do it. So if you notice, we have a fraction and we have a third variable. So we're not just doing x and y, we're doing a, b, and c. Speaking of a, b, c, we have a, b, and c, not x and y, but that's okay. The first thing we're going to do is tackle our coefficients. We have 3, 1 over 3, and negative 1. Remember, there's an imaginary 1 right in front of the c. So using our calculator, we'll find that 3 times 1 over 3 times negative 1 is just negative 1. I'll just put a minus sign right there. And let's just go start with the a's, and then we'll go to the b's and then the c's. So we have an a here and nowhere else. So we're just going to put a right here. Okay? We have a b here, but no b on this third term. So b squared times b is b to the 3rd power, because remember, there's an imaginary 1 here. 2 plus 1 is 3, so b to the 3rd power. Finally, we have a c in this second term and a c in the third term. So c to the 1st power times c to the 1st power is c squared. So it looked intimidating, but we were able to get through that. Try and give this one a shot. Okay, so this problem forces us to look at the difference between when we have a just b raised to a power with no parentheses and b raised to a power with parentheses, especially since both of these b's are negative. They have -1 as their coefficient. So whenever we're solving problems like these, if we have a negative in front but no parentheses, our final answer for this part only will always have a negative sign. So we're just gonna solve the problem as normal. So it is b cubed, and just tack on a -1. So it's already solved for us, so we're gonna leave it alone. Now, if we have parentheses and a negative power in the inside, and we have an exponent that's raised to an even, like an exponent that's an even power, then the inside becomes positive. So this is going to turn into b squared. The reason why is because this is the same thing as -b times -b. And a negative times a negative is just a positive. So b times b is the same thing as b to the first power times b to the first power, and add those powers together and you get b squared. So let's rewrite this problem knowing that we have -b cubed times b squared. Now we're just going to solve it as normal. So we know that the first thing we do is handle our coefficients. This has -1 as its coefficient, and this just has 1 as its coefficient. So -1 times 1 is just -1. B cubed plus b squared, 3 plus 5, 2 is 5. So our final answer is -b to the 5th power. All right, so I put 12 here instead of 6. My bad. I hope this video was helpful, and don't hesitate to ask questions to your teacher or to me in the comments. Thank you and have a great day.